to... Let's switch the scene. Oh, that's the wrong scene. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. I need to sort out my second monitor. There we go. Alright, guys. Hello and welcome back to the Polaris Best of 9 series between TaToH and... well, who is it? MbL. That's the one. Still a little bit distracted by this like whole stats thing. I've reduced the opacity on the heat map to hopefully make it a little less distracting. I don't know... really how it will go. We'll see. We'll see. Both players as the Mayans. You may have noticed that because they both did loom first. That is something that only the Mayans would typically do, unless you're playing on some weird map or some weird setting where you don't have food at the start of the game. But yeah, down to the south of the map then, in the purple, we've got TaToH. He's playing as the Mayans in the... yeah, playing as the Mayans in the purple. Up to the north of the map, in the teal, we've got RFR BT, aka RFR MbL, playing as the Mayans as well in the teal. So we got mirror sieves. The map this time is Meatballs. This is a pretty cool map, again from the Light Random map pack, I think. Yeah, it's from Light Random. And one of those maps that requires you to migrate from your starting island. A little bit like Descent Ring, only there's a bit less water, and there's no real rushing going on, which is all good, in my opinion. I kind of like this map, and it's a map that you don't see too often. Mayan War as well, and well, that kind of means that the strategy is going to be a little bit stale, I feel. Both players are going to be looking for center control with crossbows, and then, well, maybe not even crossbows. It depends whether they manage to rush up a castle or not, but both of them will be going for castles. Both of them will be going for plumed archers. There's no real question about that, unless something completely out of the ordinary happens, and that is not the case. So this map, Meatballs, is pretty weird. Obviously, there's no standard resources here. Hell no. We got a pretty decent deer patch, but just a single berry bush, no boar, and a standard number of sheep. Well, sorry, even 6 sheep, so not even standard. The standard is 8. So the map is a little bit challenging for the food here. And if we just have a quick calculation, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 deer. That makes a total of, well, 800 food plus 8, 16, 32, that would be like 1,120 food or something, so something like that, which is not too bad, really. But obviously you do have to invest a lot of that food in early villages, and both players should be looking for a dock anyway, so we'll see a little bit of food income coming from the water. But not having 2 boar certainly makes things interesting, and it might mess with their feudal times a little bit compared to what they're used to. But one thing is for sure, this starting island really doesn't have too much for them. They only have a little bit of gold, a little bit of stone, and obviously very limited wood as well. So that means they will have to migrate to the center of the map where all of the extra gold piles, all of the extra stone piles are located. But this map is really quite strange. In fact, you know what? There's not even a lot of stone on the center here, is there? There's only a small amount of stone, just one on the right and one on the left. There's not much stone going on, and it seems like a really bugged map to me. Like, have you seen where all the gold is? Have you seen it? It's all right at the edge of the map, mostly covered by wood. Most of it is covered by wood, making it very difficult to get hold of. So whilst the center of the map here does have good potential to hold quite a bit of value, in actual fact, the resource location is shoddy as hell, and the only thing the center is going to be good for initially is for wood. And when the players have finally managed to find where the gold and the stone is, then the fight for that will begin. So docks coming up for both of them. Neither of them have their first fishing ship up yet, but I gotta say, MbL got a little bit of a better dock here. He's got 3, 4 big fish right in sight of that, and well, TaToH only has the 2. There's not quite as many fish close by, so maybe a little bit of an annoyance to him. And look at this, he's milling. TaToH is milling his single berry bush. I guess he will be able to gather from this big fish here as well, so, you know, it's not the end of the world, but that's kind of funny. you don't see someone milling their berry bush when it's just a single bush. I wonder if MbL is going to do that as well. Obviously, both of them luring those deer in towards the TC. So far, MbL has got more in fact. He's got just 3 deer left, and, well, there's 5 left for TaToH. So TaToH perhaps off to a little bit of a worse start, but, well, the scores are in favor of TaToH at the moment, so I wouldn't count on it. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's up. But TaToH here, 2 fishing ships out already, and just the second ship coming out for MbL. He's a little bit slower with that dock, and that's probably why his population is a little behind here. But I think TaToH should be able to get up to the fuselage first, as these deer are nearly all in, and they're nearly all completed. And bear in mind, in this situation, TaToH doesn't actually, or hasn't actually, built a mill here, which is, in my opinion, a waste. That's a waste of resources, if you ask me. And, well, TaToH is going to be not really getting a whole lot out of that mill. He spent 100 wood to get 120 food from that berry bush. Maybe he'll gather the great fish marlin as well with the villager, but even still, that's not a great way to spend that early precious resource. And I think MbL will be able to get up to the fuselage first. Having a quick look at TaToH, he's at 300 food, whereas MbL's at 580, and he's still making villagers. Yeah, going to go up on 29 by the looks of things, and not bothering to get out a 4th fishing ship here because, well, he's probably realized that that's probably not worth it due to the small number of fish in this little river. So fuselage first for MbL. You can see that's researching now. It's just on 5%, and, well, TaToH's still wrestling his deer into the TC. There's still 2 more to go, and that difference is quite substantial. Like, 2 deer still to be lured in, and MbL's got every single one. He is also milling his berry bush. Like, I don't know if these guys are trolling me, but, well, I guess they're going to have a mill in order to get farms anyway, but still, I just find it hilarious that they're milling a single forage bush. But, yeah, like I say, they will have to get farms eventually anyway. So for MbL, this mill is in a pretty decent location. He can fit farms around it safely. That's good. But for TaToH, he can't even fit farms around that mill. That mill is just simply to get that one berry bush, and I find that quite hilarious. So fuselage coming up for TaToH as well. He's on about 20% now. Obviously MbL on 65. He's quite a way ahead. And once he gets up to the fuselage, the first thing he's probably going to do is put out a transport ship here and get himself across to the center, but not before he's attempted to fast castle. That's right, 30 population up to the fuselage here. That's a pretty large amount of population, I'm sure you'll agree, and with pretty much every villager he's got taking wood at the moment, every last little piddly tree being hoovered up on his main island, I kind of get the feeling that, yeah, that's going to be for a market blacksmith, and that is going to be a fast castle from him. So market, house, in fact. House is a good one. In fact, that's quite amusing. He's actually doing town watch at the moment because he can't make villagers from his TC, but he has got the wood, the food to spare, so it's all good, I guess. In the end, at the end of it all, town watch just being completed. That's kind of amusing. But yes, market blacksmith for MbL here, and this is going to be a pretty comfortable fast castle for TaToH. He's gone up to feudal on 32 population. He's gone up with 2 more economy units, and he's going to be doing market blacksmith as well. And for MbL now, just waiting to get that 125 wood as he's on the way up to the castle age, and he's taking stone already. Like, it's so obvious what he's going to do. He's going to take all that stone, all that lovely delicious stone, and then he's going to put up a castle on the mainland and start making plumed archers for map control. It makes so much sense, but it is so obvious. It's like he's not even trying to try and play differently here, but I can't complain. He's actually had a really good start so far. So 31 population on the way up to castle. The transport's coming out, and for TaToH, as you can see, he's just doing double bit axe. I love that little overlay. It's fantastic. But a little slower up to the castle age, and also just getting out a transport as well. Question is, will he be able to get a castle straight away? I highly imagine I highly doubt it, I was going to say. No, I don't. I definitely think he will be able to get out a castle straight away. He's got 3 more villagers than MbL here. So that's really worth bearing in mind, that they have got, or he has got, more villagers at this point in time. So once he gets up to the castle age, even though he's going to be a little bit slower, he is going to have a stronger economy once he reaches the castle age. So that's certainly worth bearing in mind. But I think the key here is not necessarily how good your economy is when you reach the castle age. The key is getting the castle up and getting the plumed archers out. Because in this situation, if MbL can get across, get that castle up quickly, then first of all, he is going to be able to start pumping out plumed archers faster. And then he will be able to start locking down the map, potentially anyway. And if he gets the castle up faster as well, he's also going to be able to secure his villages faster in taking the wood, because he will want to take wood on this center island pretty quickly, or center land very quickly, because he's pretty much out on his home island already. And that does not take too long, did it? So villagers coming forwards, and I don't know what he's found so far. He's not sent his scout over any earlier on, and that's a pretty forward castle location. I think you'll find that is a very aggressive castle location. That's in a more offensive position than defensive position, if you ask me. But the only real downside here is that MbL was quite slow in comparison to TaToH to actually landing his scout across. And TaToH here found the gold already. He's got his Eagle Warrior to scout around and look for the gold piles. And that castle from TaToH is also coming up right now. But even though TaToH was, you know, a few moments slower in getting the castle up, they're probably going to go up in about the same time, because he had more villagers here. He's also scouted more, so his castle's in a better location. It's not in a super offensive location, but it is covering gold, and that's going to be the key thing here, gold income. Both of them just pretty much researching bowsaw at identical times. That was quite impressive. And MbL here with quite an adventurous wall off as well, trying to wall down the center of this island, so that he can actually hold the left side entirely and use this castle to basically hold down the choke point that he's creating, which is quite clever actually. Just scouting out Robert Stinson's castle now, finding TaToH's castle, but TaToH probably going to be quick to build the TC and take the gold here, as well as the wood. So TC should be coming up fairly soon for MbL as well, but MbL's problem is the wood income. He actually doesn't have, well, any wood. He's got a tiny bit here, but obviously if he built a TC straight away, he would slow down his wood income, and well, he needs to get up a lumber camp on the center island in order to keep the wood income flowing and be able to actually get a second TC up. So much slower to get that second TC, but I'm liking this dock. This dock is fantastic from MbL. Now both of them have got fletching done, but no conflict yet on the land. MbL here just trying to keep his villagers safe as she walls up the center, preventing TaToH from actually getting through, and I think that's a really clever move. But what is the most interesting clever move so far that I think I've seen is this dock. This is fantastic. Now TaToH quickly getting out a fire ship here, so he's going to see this a mile off. But I think the idea here was perhaps to get a transport ship and put some plumed archers into TaToH's home economy. That would have been impressive. But TaToH, he knows what's up. He got that fire ship out, and he's not gonna let that dock achieve what it set out to do. So really well played by TaToH there, and considering he's not seen that castle, the fact that he had the foresight to put that fire ship out was pretty impressive. Now one thing I've noticed here is TaToH's wheelbarrow is much later. But you will notice that even though it's later, MbL doesn't really have any farms at the moment. In fact, his food income is really slowing down to a crawl as these fishing ships are forced to take the shorefish. He's only got 2 villages taking shorefish as well. And for MbL here, his food income really starting to dry up, especially considering that he is starting to put up his second and third TC now. He's not going to be able to afford villagers from all 3 of them. In fact, he can barely afford villagers from the 1. So even though he's got that second and third TC up, his economy is not going to be growing at a very fast pace. Whereas TaToH, he's already got his second TC up, that's for sure. His villager production is just fine. He's got plenty of food income thanks to those farms on his home island. And he's already 7 villagers ahead at this point in time. So that's kind of impressive for him. He's also not too far behind on land either, with 13 plumed archers versus the 10 from MbL. So given that MbL had a faster castle time, he certainly hasn't made too much of it. Now, I don't want to say he's done nothing with it. Obviously, he has. He's managed to wall up the center of the map, which is pretty impressive, and lock down this area, which is good. But he's not really pushed an advantage from going up to castle sooner. And in the end here, it's turned out that TaToH's later castle time, stronger economy, is starting to win in this game. And hey, look at that. Look at that landing. Fantastic stuff from TaToH. Basically copying MbL's idea of the landing here, bringing those plumed archers through. Bodkin arrow is now done. And he's going to pick some villagers off here from TaToH. TaToH, you might notice as well, has very little gold income. He's got a TC up on the gold. He's found some stone as well, which is good, I guess. But his gold income's not great. Doesn't need a huge amount of gold to make plumed archers. But this is annoying, to say the least. These villagers here, all inside the TC, and no farms up at all for MbL to even consider protecting, I guess, but a lot of idle villagers, and that is not good. Scrambling to get them into the transport ship and back to safety. Now over here, MbL is going to try and do the same to TaToH, of course, and TaToH has got a lot more to lose. He's got all these farms over on this right side, which are at risk now, and their fire ship from MbL winning out, coming out on top there, as TaToH tries to get out a fire ship and a demolition ship of his own, but the landing has already happened, and those plumed archers are already in. But there is no bodkin arrow for MbL just yet, which is obviously not quite so good. He still will kill villagers pretty quickly, though, as that demolition ship comes through. That demolition ship should be able to kill that transport straight away. But not if the plumed archers get to it first. Oh, goodness me. Wow, I think TaToH did that on purpose. I think he did that on purpose. Putting his demo at the shore so that the plumed archers would kill it and then explode themselves. That was actually quite clever. He knew that he could have gone for the transport, I guess, but opting not to. And that was quite good. That was very clever. I like it. Very good. Even putting out a fire ship here onto MbL's little lake to stop him getting much more food. And MbL's food income is being sort of supplemented by these farms now that he's finally managed to get up, but he was certainly a lot slower in doing so. And on all this time, the villagers that he's lost, the smaller eco that he's had, or the lack of food, sorry, that he's had, MbL has actually fallen behind by 12 villagers at the moment, which is quite something. Wow. TaToH, though, not letting up just yet. He knows that he's going to have a hard time killing villagers over here, so what's he doing? He's dropping his plumed archers around the wall. Now, this is all well and good having a wall, but when there's transport ships on both sides of it, you are going to find that the plumed archers will work their way into your economy, whether you like it or not. And TaToH now just getting up that third TC. He's not too bothered, you know, he's taking his sweet time getting that TC up. And that's good, because even though MbL had his second and third TC up sooner, he's not caught up in villagers. He's not actually managed to get his economy in the same place. So TaToH doing the right thing by delaying this TC, knowing full well that if he makes plumed archers and villagers from 2 TCs, he's not going to be able to afford the third just yet, and waiting for the appropriate time, obviously, to get that TC up and running. So over on here, MbL landing a few more plumed archers over as TaToH lands over at the top of MbL's base. A little bit of action going on in both places. And down at the south, well, MbL not finding any villagers just yet, which is a shame. He's looking for them. He's looking for them. TaToH, absolutely nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all to protect these vills, but he did drop some plumed archers back, so maybe he'll pick some more up and drop them across. It certainly seems like he's done that so far. Over in this wood line, lots of villagers going down, and that bodkin arrow upgrade, meaning that these plumed archers doing a total of 7 attack damage, just cutting them down where they stand. Certainly not too good for MbL in that little fight, and that puts MbL a total of 18 villagers behind now. He's not managed to kill really many of TaToH's villagers back here. TaToH sticking up a watchtower on this gold to keep them nice and safe. And he'll just hop in there and push these, well, probably not push the plumed archers away, but the plumed archers going to have a tough time getting in range with the town centre and the watchtower covering them. Robert Stinson so far doing a really good job of harassing and killing villagers. So far he's killed 25 units and lost just 14. On this left side, looking for some more villager kills, sitting in that TC fire though, not the cleverest thing to do, and MbL will chase him down and finish him off by the looks of things. But yeah, MbL here going to drop a few more plumed archers across onto his home island. We'll call this his home island for good measure. And, well, he can keep dropping them off easily. Oh, on the left side, the demolition ship's coming in as well. Kind of missed that. But hopefully TaToH will add a couple more demos in. It's nice seeing fires and demolition ships coming into play. I think that's fantastic. So ballistics coming in and leather archer armor coming in for Robert Stinson at the moment. That's really awesome. He is going to get really aggressive with these plumed archers here. He's not prioritizing the Imperial Age. Whereas if you look at MbL, he's doing handcart right now. And that is obviously an upgrade to really make your economy more efficient. Probably not thinking about going Imperial Age really soon, but certainly that's his kind of priority I'm feeling at the moment. Whereas the difference here between the two, TaToH clearly going for high aggression, doing the defense upgrades on these plumed archers, whereas MbL has not, going for ballistics to improve their accuracy, where MbL has not. That's kind of a big deal, and that says to me we're going to see more landings from TaToH, we're going to see a lot more military units being created, and if we have a look at the population tab, that does seem to be reflected there as well. Just 14 military from MbL, whereas TaToH is sitting on 30 at the moment, almost, well, over double at this point in time. He's killed quite a few villagers in MbL's economy already. Why not go for some more? And that's exactly what he will do. Plumed archers being picked off on TaToH's home island, and this little landing here of plumed archers, well, gonna get through, see what they can do, killing a couple of villagers here at the shoreline as that transport ship gets taken down. They won't be finding a way back, unfortunately. And these guys going to kill a few villagers to try and level the scores, level the playing field a bit. It's worth noting MbL is actually up to 40 Cs now as well. But his home island looking pretty deserted at the moment as these plumed archers cause them all manner of troubles. But TaToH quick to bring plumed archers over. He's not messing around here. And MbL nearly up to the Imperial Age. There we go, he's just clicking up. But Imperial Age has already been clicked for TaToH here. That's really impressive. Obviously, he was building up his economy much earlier on. Obviously, he was adding in farms much earlier on, and he's been farming a lot more heavily on this starting island. But this balance of military and economy for TaToH has been fantastic. He's not long had this third TC up, and he's already up to the Imperial Age now, which is fantastic. He's got a really big villager lead. He's got a military lead. He's got the score lead. He's just got everything right now. Really dominant in this game. And he's probably going to win this battle on the left side as well, thanks to ballistics and, well, most notably, the archer armor upgrades. Good micro as well. Look at that, MbL not hitting a single arrow as TaToH just mows him down, mops him up, and really very good play by him so far. Up in the north, Siege Workshop's coming up, obviously to prioritize rams here. And that is really important, getting your rams out in these minor mirror civ matchups. But the Imperial Age time is quite significant, and I'm a little bit concerned as Robert Stinson, Mr. TaToH here, pulls pretty far into the lead. Battering rams coming up. He's not going to be long before taking out this wall. It's not been upgraded at all here. And Robert Stinson now even doing stone mining to increase his stone income so that he can actually get another castle. He's actually only on one castle right now, which is not so good, but he has got a lot more plumed archers, simply because he's been able to do a lot better raiding damage, a lot better micromanagement over MbL. MbL's sticking up his second castle though, and if he can hold out for a while, he might be okay. He's still 10 villagers behind, which is not amazing, but he is catching up slowly but surely there. And with that second castle already up, if he can just hold out, he might be alright. But TaToH petard on that wall, ram coming in, and that's going to be down in just 2 more ram hits, and he's going to be through. The plumed archer is sitting behind this to prevent another wall off coming through, and MbL not going to get that up in time. I guarantee he will not get that wall up in time. Capture ram now complete, and well, TaToH needs to run through, kill that villager off quickly, and take it from there. Robert Stinson just doing careening and chemistry as well. Careening, you might be thinking, why careening? That is simply because he wants to be able to transport more units around these walls in a single transport ship. Transport ships only carry 5 units. With careening, they'll carry 10. And that means that he can get a lot more plumed archers over in a single trip. And that's going to be pretty strong for him to do. So this castle at the south being the first focus of TaToH. And of course, with these rams coming through as well, he could pretty easily get up to the top. MbL, meanwhile, TC garrisoned at the moment, looking like he's under a lot of pressure, which is not good. But MbL here is getting the elite plumed archer upgrade much sooner. He's prioritizing that over much else, it would seem. He's got Bracer done, but he's not got +2 defense. He's not got chemistry. And, well, Robert Stinson's got all of that. He's just not got the elite upgrade. The elite upgrade, well, it's certainly going to improve the stats of those plumed archers, but they're still going to be outranged slightly here. Oh, no, sorry, they're not going to be outranged. My bad. Of course, they both have Bracer, but they aren't going to have quite as much armor, and overall they might come out about even. TaToH, of course, with a huge number of plumed archers more as these rams come in to attack the castle. Fortunately, going back. I'm not sure what that's about, but Siege Ram is now on the way for TaToH. What am I doing? There we go. Siege Ram on 15%. And once that Siege Ram is done, he is just going to go for it. I mean, he's got no reason not to just go for it. With 5 Rams there and more being built pretty quickly, he is basically going to be pretty unstoppable if he supports it well with these plumed archers. Now, the elite plumed archer upgrade, as we know, done for MbL. And wow, wow, MbL is just doing horse collar at 38 minutes. That's pretty late, if you didn't know. That's the kind of thing we would never catch normally, simply because, I mean, he's checking the middle at 38 minutes in game. But hey, we don't need to check the middle. Our little overlay is doing it for us. So TaToH, in a stroke of genius here, coming over to the left side. Obviously, this castle's being repaired. There's a mangonel here to try and stop the rams getting through. But he don't care. He's going to come up to the left side. The siege ram upgrade completing. And he is now starting to bring down the castle in the north. I'm surprised he's not brought his plumed archers over, though. He needs to bring them over a little more here, as these rams are getting battered by these villagers. They're going down pretty quickly, in fact, to villager fire. But he is weakening the castle. And on the south side, this castle is going to fall. A good split from TaToH as well, sniping that mangonel. And the castle, with just one more shot now, is going to go down, or 2 more shots, in fact, going to fall. Down it goes, and these villagers are toast. MbL may as well just GG it right here, as he's just completing ballistics. He's just completed thumb ring, as his villagers are getting massacred. And he has no answer to TaToH's plumed archers at the moment. TaToH doesn't even care for elite plumed archer. He's only just researching it now. It's like the icing on the cake. It's like, right, I'll take your castle down, I'll kill most of your economy, all of your plumed archers, and then I'll upgrade my plumed archers, because I didn't need that upgrade anyway. But yeah, MbL's calling it GG for him, and quite rightly so. Well played by TaToH, and I mean, really very much in control of the economy aspect of this game. He had a really strong eco that game, even though he was down a TC for quite some time. He just had a really good build-up, and well, good map control as well, making good attempts at landing around these walls, raiding MbL's economy, and causing him, well, too much trouble, and, well, giving him a right headache in this game. So well played to TaToH, and well, that makes it 2-0 to him already. Pretty good start to this best of 9. Of course, best of 9 means the first of 5 wins, so there's still plenty of games coming up. But, well, he looked pretty dominant in the first 2 games, and MbL is going to have to pull something out of the bag here, otherwise he is in trouble for the remaining games. But we're going to come back here, and I'm going to take a very short break.